Hey guys, Daryl Z back here again, and today we're going to play a game called Keep 'em or Let 'em Go. We review the Vikings 2017 Free Agents coming up, and one special one at the very end. So let's start at the very bottom. One of the most disrespected positions in the game, and one of the most controversial players on the team, really, and that's Jeff Locke. Now, Jeff Locke was a part of the controversy of, was he part of the reason why Blair Walsh missed the kick last year? Was he part of Blair Walsh's misfortune this year? Well, we have a kicker now, and he's doing just fine with Jeff Locke holding, so I don't think you can really hold too much about that to him. And his punting, at least for the first 3 quarters of the year, was very, very good, very much improved. But the second half fell off a little bit, but I think we'll re-sign him for a decent deal. So now number 2 is Justin Tretto, the defensive end. He's 28 years old. He was in very limited time, but when he's in, he plays fairly well. But with the Vikings having 3 solid defensive ends, that's a position where you always can use more depth, but he's 28, which is kind of up there in age. If we do re-sign him, it'll be a 1 or 2 year deal, but he's on his way out, so don't look for too much Justin Tretto. Alright, so next we have Awadi Cole. Now, Awadi Cole was of course, the preseason fanatic from a few years ago who was sensational, 2 interceptions in a game, and is very splashy, but then it can also disappear at times. I really don't mind him. I think he really likes Minnesota. I think he's liked playing for the team, and I really see us keeping Awadi Cole. He's 27 years old, and I think we can get him. I think he's one of the better players on our special teams on kick and punting coverage, and he can play every linebacker position we have, so I really like having Awadi Cole on our team. Alright, so next we have an interesting one, and that's Matt Asiata. He's 29 years old right now, and just like Jerick McKinnon and when Adrian Peterson played, all of our running backs played very poorly this year. But Matt Asiata put up very similar numbers to what he's been doing, so even with the poor offensive line play, you still don't know what you're going to get from Matt Asiata. So here's the tricky one. Well, we have another running back that I'm sure you guys all know that we'll have to talk about later. But if we re-sign him, and then we have McKinnon and we could draft someone, I think if we re-sign Matt Asiata, it'll be after the draft, because if we draft somebody, well, if Adrian leaves and then we draft somebody, I think we would want to keep Asiata. Could be the presence there. So I think we give Asiata 1 more year. Alright, so now Jake Long, I think he's going to retire. He played good once he's got the rust off. I think he's going to retire 200. Next, Zach Line. He's 26 years old, and I think at times he's shown he's a very capable run blocking fullback, but it's going to be up to the coaches to decide whether or not he was one of the reasons why we ran the ball so poorly. He runs the ball fairly well when he has the chance, and he's a decent receiver when he gets the ball as well. So I like Zach Line, but this really comes down to how well the coaches evaluate him and see if he deserves a roster spot for next year. Maybe another light signing, maybe we look for a fullback in the draft, but it comes down to the coaches. Next, we have Rhett Ellison. He's 28 years old, and I think we re-sign him. We really need and like run blocking tight ends. I know we just drafted one last year, and we got rid of Michael Pruitt, but I think Rhett Ellison has a spot on this roster, being the number 2 or number 3 tight end. Unless, of course, we draft one or somewhere early in the draft, but I don't see us doing it. I think we are high on our second-year tight end from last year, and, of course, Kyle Rudolph. Next, we have Cordero Patterson, 25 years old, very, very tricky. Now, with Patterson, with most players in his position, you kind of wish they would either show you that he's a bust or show you that he's going to be a star. But with Patterson, it's still like he's a rookie at this point as far as his potential. You see it flash at times, but then other times he disappears and he's just a gadget player. At the very end of the day, the only thing we do know about him is that he's a fantastic kick returner, and he's got superstar speed and ability. At times last year, he showed some route running, but other times he looks like he doesn't really know how to run routes. So with Patterson, I think we show him some money, because he was our number 3 receiver last year. I think he should be slide down number 4 or so whatever if Treadwell is healthy and plays as well as we think he should. But Cordell Patterson, I think we resign him to like a 3 or 4 year deal and hope he gets that potential, because it could be very, very deadly if he gets the potential that we want him to be. Him, Diggs, Thielen, Treadwell, that's a disgusting combo if we get Patterson healthy. Because Patterson is one of those guys that if he was re-signed by the Patriots or Packers, he would get a nice 14-yard touchdown here. You could just see that coming. Alright, so next, the old guy, a couple of old guys, and the first one's Terrence Newman, 38 years old. I think the Vikings try to sign him if he wants to keep playing. Another 1 or 2 year deal, nothing too big, because you don't really know how long he's going to be good and being effective. But he's been great the last 2 years. So I think we try to keep Newman as long as he wants to play, unless there was more to the whole changing up our coverage against the Packers than we all thought. But next, of course, Chad Greenway, and if he wants to come back, he's back. Will he start? That's a different discussion for another day. But I think the Vikings would love him on the team for their locker room support. But my guess, he's going to retire. So the third old guy in a row, and that's Sean Hill. And he's another guy. He's a backup quarterback, but I think if we have Taylor Heineke, we're just on with him, and Teddy will be back anytime soon. And so right now we have 4 quarterbacks on the roster, and I think Sean Hill's the one to go. Will he retire? I really wouldn't doubt it. I don't know how many teams would be looking out for him, but he's still a fairly good backup quarterback. Probably probably below average backup quarterback now. Nevertheless, he's a decent option. So next we have the guy that we hope to be our starting right tackle this year, Andre Smith, 29 years old. We gave him $3.5 million and didn't live up to it at all this last year. Injury played a part of it, but he was not very good at all. So I think he'll be gone, and we'll be looking for more options at right tackle. Alright, so now the cornerback position, we have Captain Munnerlyn, who's 28 years old. He got $3.7 million. And I think he's about to get paid, because I think he's the top 5 nickelback in the game, and we need him. We have Mackenzie Alexander, who looks like he'll be the nickelback of the future, but Captain still needs to be a presence on their field. So now to the left tackle, one of the biggest people we like to give the Donkey Award to, but I think we wanted him on the team a lot more this year, and that was Matt Khalil. He's 27 years old, the left tackle, and he got almost $5 million last year. And I think we re-signed him to a cheap deal, something like a backup deal money, like top-notch backup left tackle money, and he'll battle for a position, and I think he'll probably be our starting left tackle next year. So now those are the free agents, but we do have a few people with club options, and let's get to it. The number one guy y'all want to hear, and that is Adrian Peterson. Will he be back? Well, he made $12 million last year, and he's a club option for $18 million. What will happen for Adrian? Well, he will be gone. I don't see any. I know in his interview he said that he wouldn't mind playing for the Giants or Texans, and I think another team he threw out there. Because he wants a team that can get to the playoffs. Well, we were in the playoffs last year, buddy. And I think we were on the top team still. The Packers are 5-0 blue lead last year. Now we 5-0 blue are lead this year. But Packers are in Super Bowl right now. And Vikings could do that next year. That's what I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. So I don't know what that is about, but I think he'll sign somewhere for like a 2-year deal and then retire after that. Because he said he has 5 years left, but I think he's just about done. So just a little bonus one for you guys, and I'm going to talk about the future of Xavier Rhodes, because I think he's due for a big time deal. His contract will be ending fairly soon. Rhodes, he's making 2.4 million this year, 8 million next year, and then he's a free agent. So he is due for a big time deal, and I think we're talking top 5 cornerback money because I think he's deserving of it. I think you can make a case that he was a top 3, and you can make a case that he was the #1 corner this last year. So he's due to make a ton of money, if not this offseason, but then the next. But there we have it. Those are our free agents. You can see on the list how many we should keep, how many we should let go on the screen right now. And we'll see you guys in the next JOZ Viking video. See ya.